Hello, great scholars. It's Mr. Allan, your science teacher. Welcome to my class, and today we are looking at the topic Plants Part 2, which is a consolidation of the aspects of plants we treated last time. And a quick highlight of what we did, we looked at what a plant is. A plant is a living thing, and plant possess several parts that are very functional to their body. We looked at the leaves that serves as a store of food, and it also serves as a means to absorb carbon dioxide that leads to the process of photosynthesis. We looked at the roots that absorbs water and nutrients from the soil to give nutrients to the plant body. We also looked at the stem, which serves as a channel to conduct water and nutrients around the plant's body. Then the flower, which is a very important part. And when the plant is matured, it will lead to the production of fruits and seeds, and quite a whole lot of importance of plants in the environment. We cannot overemphasize the importance of food because plants leads to the general production of food. The word for today is we are learning to investigate plant life in the sea and in the desert. And what I'm looking for is to outline some sea and desert plants and their adaptations. This picture shows a typical example of a seaweed. As you can see, it's found on the surface of water. They have ability to float on water because they possess a light body. That's one of the major adaptations of plants that are found in water bodies. They also possess a hollow body, and what that means is that the body has a space in it which makes it lighter, and some other special features that adapt them to the environment. Now I will take you to the next slide, and on this slide you see another picture of seaweeds occupying different portions of this sea. And they form a very important part of the habitat or the ecosystem. Now, one of their major importance in the sea is that they provide a means of shelter and protection for some aquatic animals. They also serve as a means of food in the food chain for aquatic animals that feed on specific species of seaweeds, and also form the ornamentation and contribute to the general biodiversity of the sea life. And when I say biodiversity, what do we mean? Biodiversity is simply the total number of plants and animals that can be found in a particular habitat at a given time. I'll quickly take you to the next slide, which also shows another example of seaweeds occupying different portions of this sea, as you can see. Then the next slide shows different species of seaweeds. They are of different shapes and sizes, and they occupy different parts of the sea for particular purposes. Now look at this slide I have here. It's a slide showing some fishes hiding in between some seaweeds, and simply put, this seaweed provides shelter and protection for these fishes against intruders or predators. And predators means animals that prey on other animals or feed on other animals to stay alive. So this takes me to the next slide. I want to look at some desert plants. Before now, we looked at the desert is a place that is arid or dry. It's characterized by highly dry wind, hot temperature, and low amount of rainfall all through the year. So there are some special plants that still adapt themselves and suit themselves to this environment. A very good example of them is the cactus plant. The plural of cactus is cacti. We have many of them, and they are of different species. We have the cylindrical cactus like this one here. We have the globular cactus plant that looks like a globe, and so many other species. Now, one of their major adaptation is the ability to absorb and store water in their stem. They have what we call succulent stems that saves nutrients and water for quite a long time, and this helps them to stay for quite a long time in the habitat. Then most of them are able to store water by not losing it through transpiration. Now they possess spines on their body as against broad leaves. When plants store water in their body, they lose water through transpiration. Welcome to the second segment of the lesson on the unit Plants Part 2. As you can see on the slide, we're learning to investigate prehistoric plants. Can I hear you echo the word prehistoric plants? Good job. Thank you. What I'm looking for is to explore some prehistoric plants and their contributions to the formation of fossil fuels. And I will quickly journey through this by showing you some slides to explain in details. But a quick recap from the last class, from the video you watched, I was talking about transpiration as a means through which plants lose excess water from the body. And for desert plants, particularly the cactus plant that has spines, it doesn't allow the loss of excess water because of the spiky end of the spikes, as compared to plants with broad leaves that can easily shed water through their stomata. Now I quickly go to the next slide to talk about prehistoric plants. These are plants that have been in existence before the kind of plants we see in our world today. So what are these prehistoric plants? I'll just quickly take you through some few of them. Now on this slide I have what we call the juvia plant. The scientific name or the botanical name is Juvia simplex. Now, if you look at the structure of this plant, it takes the form of a palm tree, just like the palm tree we have today, but it has an ancient kind of leaf formation and arrangement compared to the current palm trees we have today. So this is one of the prehistoric plants that existed millions of years ago and also has a contribution to the environmental ornamentation. Now I have another prehistoric plant here called Temskia. The scientific name is Temskia species. Now Temskia species also takes a close resemblance with the palm tree, but in this case it is more taller. Some are stout or short, with the leaves arranged in an alternating way. I think this gives us a link to the current day palm trees, as you can see the arrangement of the leaves. Then this takes me to the pitcher plant. The pitcher plant has the shape of a pitcher, or in a simple term like a pot. It's a carnivorous plant that feeds on insects from the environment. How does it do this? Now if you can see the opening inside, there's water. When insects perch around it and eventually they get trapped by the water, their body dissolves gradually and it absorbs it through the walls of the pitcher or the internal body parts to serve as food for its growth and development. So it is called a carnivorous plant because it feeds on the bodies of insects. Also, the next slide takes us to the contributions of these prehistoric plants to the development of fossil fuels. Now, fossil fuels are fuels we get from mining crude oil and some other mineral deposits in the earth crust. For millions of years ago, these prehistoric plants haven't died, including some animals also. Their bodies were washed into the water bodies, and some that even live in water died, and their bodies or carcasses sunk down into the bottom of the sea. And over time, due to the deposit of silt or sand and stones and other debris, with the effect of heat and pressure mounting on them, a lot of compression took place, and over time it formed a very hard surface. And we now discovered that those hard surfaces were called either peat or crude oil. And with the discovery of this mineral resource, the world has gone into the excavation and the mining of these mineral resources to produce the fuels we use to generate power and do quite a lot of things in and around the world. As you can see from this slide, the ocean 300 to 400 million years ago, tiny plants and animals died and their bodies sunk into the bottom of the sea. And in the ocean between 50 to 100 million years ago, sand and silt haven't compressed themselves on top of the dead plant and animal bodies, and the effect of compression and heat, a lot of hardening took place. It is this hardened material that led to the formation of oil and gas.